There comes a moment in every great player's career when everything is on the line. For LeBron James, that moment was building for years, and it didn't start in Miami. It started in Cleveland, where expectations were sky high, but the results just kept falling short. In 2008, LeBron went toe-to-toe with Boston's newly formed Big Three, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen. He dropped a monstrous 45 points in Game 7, but it wasn't enough. The Celtics survived, and just weeks later, they were crowned NBA champions. For LeBron, it was another season ending in heartbreak. In 2009, he came back with vengeance. The Cavs had the best record in the league. He won his first MVP. But again, no ring. In 2010, it looked like everything was finally lining up. Cleveland won 61 games, and LeBron grabbed a second straight MVP. Revenge against Boston was set for the second round. But what happened next shocked everyone. Boston, the 4 seed, dismantled the number 1 Cavs in 6 games. LeBron looked checked out, disengaged. Rumors flew that he had mentally quit on the team. Fans turned on him. The media ripped him apart. LeBron, the chosen one, was now being called a choker. And then came the moment that changed everything. Microphone, the answer to the question everybody wants to know, LeBron, what's your decision? Speaking head, in this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach. With those words, LeBron James shook the basketball world. He left his hometown, joined Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, and formed a super team in Miami. He went from hero to villain overnight. Fans burned his jerseys. Cleveland called it betrayal. The world called it weak. And just when people thought it couldn't get any worse, it did. In the 2011 NBA Finals, LeBron and the Heat made it to the big stage, and then completely collapsed. The Dallas Mavericks, led by Dirk Nowitzki, pulled off one of the most unexpected upsets in Finals history. LeBron was nowhere to be found when it mattered most. He wasn't aggressive. He wasn't confident. He disappeared in the clutch. The man who was supposed to dominate folded on the biggest stage. The legacy he spent 8 years building was now falling apart. Everyone asked the same question. Is LeBron really built for greatness, or just hype? And that's when the pressure reached its peak. The only way out: win, or be remembered as the guy who never delivered. Coming off the collapse in the 2011 Finals, LeBron James had one mission: redeem himself. The critics were louder than ever. The chosen one was now seen as the guy who couldn't close. People questioned his leadership, his mentality, and even his heart. He had to prove he wasn't just a sidekick on a super team, but the guy. Then came the 2011 to 2012 season. A lockout-shortened year. But LeBron didn't waste a second. He dominated. He was locked in like never before. He averaged 27, 8, and 6 and won his third MVP in 4 years. But this time, no one cared about the MVP. It was title or nothing. And as the playoffs began, so did the pressure. In round 1, the Heat torched the Knicks. Easy business. But round 2, things got scary. Miami lost Chris Bosh to injury, and the Pacers took a 2-1 series lead. People started whispering again. Was this the beginning of another collapse? But LeBron answered. In Game 4, with the Heat season on the line, LeBron exploded for 40 points, 18 rebounds, and 9 assists. He carried Miami on his back and silenced the doubts, for now. The Heat closed out Indiana in 6 games. Next up, a familiar enemy, the Boston Celtics. For LeBron, this wasn't just a playoff matchup, this was personal. The Celtics had tormented him for years, ending his seasons, destroying his dreams. But this time, he had help. And this time, he came out swinging. In Game 1, LeBron dropped 32 points and 13 rebounds. The Heat won by 14. In Game 2, he followed it up with 34, 10, and 7. Another Miami win. It looked like the Celtics were finished. Their big three were older, slower, worn down. But just when it seemed over, Boston came back swinging. Game 3, Celtics win. Game 4, Celtics win again. Suddenly, the series is tied 2-2. Then came Game 5 in Miami, a must-win. LeBron delivered again, 30 points. But with a minute left, Boston had the ball. Pierce, for 3. It's good. Right in LeBron's face. The dagger. The Celtics take the lead, and the game. They now lead the series 3-2, and they're headed back home to Boston. Miami, the super team, was falling apart again. LeBron James was one loss away from another humiliating exit. The same court where he'd suffered heartbreaks before was now waiting to break him again. Critics were ready. The headlines were already written. Game 6 in Boston wasn't just another playoff game. It was LeBron's career on the line. June 7, 2012. TD Garden, Boston. LeBron James walked into enemy territory, the same building where his dreams had been shattered before. This time, there was no margin for error. Lose, and the Heat were done. Lose, and his legacy would be destroyed. But as the cameras zoomed in on LeBron's face, something was different. There was no emotion, no smiles, no panic, just a dead-eyed stare, like he was locked in another dimension. From the very first possession, you knew this wasn't just another game. LeBron caught the ball, blew past his defender. Boom. A vicious tomahawk dunk. Statement made. He followed that with a cold-blooded jumper over Paul Pierce. Then another over Ray Allen. Then another. And another. He was relentless, slicing through defenders, spinning, fading, and hitting everything in sight. Midway through the first quarter, he was 6-4-7. By the end of the first, he had 14 points, nearly outscoring Boston by himself. But he wasn't done. Not even close. In the second quarter, he went into full beast mode. He hit jumper after jumper, contested, off balance, off one leg, it didn't matter. He wasn't just scoring. He was destroying the Celtics' will to fight. At one point, he made 10 consecutive field goals. He had 30 points by halftime. He played every single minute of that half. And he didn't flinch. Not once. Even the Celtics crowd, known for rattling the best, couldn't shake him. He wasn't talking trash. He wasn't hyping up teammates. He was just executing, cold and mechanical. Every time I was shooting it, it just felt perfect. Like it was going straight through the net. Like a bird slicing through water. By the end of the third quarter, he was up to 41 points. Still hadn't sat down. Still not smiling. Still no celebration. In the fourth quarter, he finished the job. He knocked down a fadeaway over Garnett. Then caught a backdoor pass from Wade for an easy lefty layup. The Celtics were done. The crowd was silent. With just over 3 minutes left, and the Heat up by 22, LeBron finally sat down. His final stat line: 45 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 73% shooting. One of the greatest elimination game performances in NBA history. He didn't celebrate. He didn't point to the crowd. Not even when a Boston fan poured beer on his head as he walked off. He just kept walking. Because he knew what he came to do, and he did it. When the final buzzer sounded in Game 6, the scoreboard read: Miami Heat, 98. Boston Celtics, 79. But this was more than just a win. It was the night LeBron James saved his legacy. He didn't just beat Boston. He silenced them. He emptied their arena. He exorcised every demon that had haunted him since his first playoff series. The man who was once labeled a choker, a sidekick, a runner, had shown up with one of the greatest performances in NBA history when it mattered most. And he wasn't done. In Game 7, LeBron finished the job, 31 points, 12 rebounds, as Miami eliminated Boston and booked their return trip to the NBA Finals. This time, the opponent was the young and hungry Oklahoma City Thunder, led by Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. But LeBron was a man on a mission. The Heat took the series in 5 games, and LeBron James was finally crowned an NBA champion. Trophy, given everything you've been through, what's the first thing that ran through your mind? Speaking head, it's about damn time. That quote said it all. No more, not one, not two. No more proving anything. Just validation. Just peace. And he didn't stop there. In 2013, the Heat went back-to-back. In 2016, he pulled off the impossible, bringing a championship to Cleveland with a comeback from down 3-1 against the 73-9 Warriors. And in 2020, he did it again, this time in the bubble, leading the Lakers to the title. Each chapter added more weight to his greatness. But it all turned on that one night in Boston. Because without Game 6 of 2012, none of it happens. That was the moment LeBron shed the doubts. That was the moment the King finally took his throne. He walked into TD Garden with everything to lose. And he walked out with everything still ahead of him. LeBron James stands alone.